the decision to make internet safe lies with many actors, including even the private sector. So the big tech companies, the ISPs in Kenya, and then of course you talk about the regulators, the Communication Authority, and then the Parliament that make laws that and then we have, of course, now the content creator themselves. And then now online, sometimes also we say that, being safe start with you. Yeah, I know sometimes people don't want to hear that, but
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's why when you're in house, you have to go and lock the door. So you need to ensure that, first of all, privacy and your data are protected. If you have a kid, don't share their content and then people get it and then you start crying. Because they are very stupid people online. Yeah. That's one thing you have to know. Yeah. So just ensure that you protect your kids and protect yourself, your data and your private data. Now, there are people who are out there, like content creators. Yeah, but obviously there are also personal aspect of that, even if you're a content creator, which you need to protect. And that's why data protection is there, but still it starts with you.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Femmehub Podcast. And today we are discussing something that affects all of us, and that is digital rights. And we have a guest.
Yeah, thank you, Naomi. My name is Kennedy Kachwanya, and I'm glad to be here. Back where I'm the chairman, and yes, we launched the State of Internet report. This is a report that we have been doing for a while, from 2016, under iFreedom project. So if you go to ifreedoms.co.ke, you will see other reports that we have done before. For this year, we did this report under a project called KenSafe Space with different partners. It's a coalition of partners. So we have Internews, we have Kiktanet, we have Internet Without Borders, we have Tribeless Youth, we have Mzalendo Trust, we have Watoto Watch Network. It's supported, so the report was supported by EU, and we are grateful for that. This year, we looked at several things. You are asking me to break it down. So let's start with the digital divide. You look around Kenya, we realize the digital divide is still huge, even within the urban center or within Nairobi itself. But the more you go to rural areas, you find a big digital divide. And obviously, we can't be proud as an internet, they call it Silicon Savannah as a country, while many of Kenyans outside there are not able to access the internet. And now a lot of conversation, a lot of information are through internet. I mean, very few people, I don't know about you, but I don't know when the last time you bought a newspaper.
Okay. I can't remember.
You can't remember. But I remember, by the time I was checking from university around 2006, 2007, it was the in thing for the young working people. Yeah, it was the in thing, like, you know what, you have to have the business daily, or even economic newspaper or magazine. Those things used to happen.
Yes.
Now, especially the young people, they totally, in their lives, they have never bought a newspaper. Even within the working space, you find it is put there on the table, but none of people go and watch it. So that's the reason why I'm talking about digital divide. The other area that we looked at was the platforms usage. Yeah, so we're looking at different platforms. And of course, we see TikTok has come up strongly. Podcasts, like what you're doing, is so strong out there. X, in a political and democracy space. Facebook for, deeper connection with family and friends. LinkedIn with more of the job search and all this stuff. So all this came out on the report. Of course, there's legal frameworks, legislations, and some of those legislations are good. They promote the internet, like the data protection law. but there are the others that we really have issues with for years. But of course, the report highlighted some of those issues. So I guess probably we'll still talk about that. But we have several legislation that were covered there, like computer misuse or Kika Act, all those ones. We also looked at the gig workers, yes. So you see now, we are Bloggers Association of Kenya, big. So our members is the huge part of gig workers and content creators. And it has been a big issue, especially for content moderators working for companies like Meta. And there was a legal aspect. So that is highlighted in the report. Obviously, there are also other aspects of what can be done to ensure that there's some protection for gig workers. Because at the moment, most of the gig workers, even let's look at the Uber drivers and other stuff, they are employed, but they are not employed. So it's
and they can also be counted as part of digital.
Yes, of course they're using the digital thing. So they are using the Uber app. The others use Bolt, or even the Kenya one is called there is this one, Little.
Oh, Little.
There's Little.
Yes.
This one also being promoted, Faras.
There's Yego.
Yego. I've heard one today. I don't know.
A new one.
Yeah, I need to check. But I think it's connected to Citizen or something. Oh. I forgot about it. So generally the report we call it State of Internet because it looked at the whole digital rights. It looked at the media freedom, some of the things that happen to people, like internet shutdowns that are covered there. Bakers, these cases against the internet shutdown that is pending in court, but we have conservative orders. So, but this one we'll still talk about them. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of how deep internet has penetrated, at least as much as we have gaps, there's a lot of growth.
Yes.
And a lot of economy going on the internet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's so much censorship and surveillance.
Yeah.
So how do we finally get a meeting point where people can operate freely, they have their freedoms, but at the same time, they are not so much against...
abusing or...
I think that's the word I'm looking
against
for.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah. The growth is there. I'm just amazed. Yeah. By the way, if you want to know, look at TikTok. I think TikTok is a bit of barometer or WhatsApp. Those two, their growth is just something else. Yeah. And the numbers on those, I look at the people dancing on TikTok and you're like, this person is dancing and he has millions of views. And where this thing
there's another one who just used to sleep.
Yes, and people are just watching and they're like couples sleeping.
Just asleep.
Anyway, that is the internet of today. And when you look at it, that's how huge is the numbers. And you see, one thing that I've loved these days is this rural content. Yes. A lot of people love this rural content because most guys who grow in towns have no idea how people go wash themselves in the river. Or you have just So those rural content,
and even age-wise, like their grandmas, like there's a lady, there's a mama on TikTok called Vintage Shosh.
Yeah.
She looks 80.
Yes.
And she's just doing her stuff at home. Yeah. And it's very interesting even for me as a rural person.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it shows how penetration of internet has growth and the growth of the internet. That's why I'm saying the growth of rural content. And to me, it takes us to who we are, because sometimes Nairobi is not Kenya. Okay, it's Kenya, but content
can fool you.
Yeah, it can really deceive you. That's why we say, the ground itself is different. Yeah. So, and back to your question, like, where is the meeting point? First of all, the Constitution is the meeting point, because our Constitution is well structured and it spells out the rights of people, rights of citizens, the rights of the media freedom, all this spelled on the Constitution. So to me, as long as you're within the parameter. Of course, there are people who go off, like, there is the call for violence, where somebody would probably call for ethnic hatred, which is hate speech. So hate speech, that is well spelled in our law. Yeah, so if you're not doing that, also the content that, affect the kids, like pornography, and we have to look at that. Yeah, so that needs to protect the kids, and also we need to protect the country in terms of, hate speech, because we have to be a cohesive country. When you look at the Gen Z, they say tribeless. We are, yes. So when you say we are tribeless, and then there are groups that, use the internet to advocate for tribal hatred, of course, that is not good. Yeah, but as long as you are within the framework of the Constitution, just like when you are here, I don't need to be stepping on your toe, like, that is not right. Yeah. So then other things, there are people confuse things like something like insult. And that's where people come, somebody insults so and so. It is not against the law. I mean, morally, it might be like, you should not be insulting people. That's where you are taught with your parents, But insult, yeah. But if, for example, I'm saying something which is not true, now that's another thing. So that's defamation. So defamation law is also the only problem I have is the state takes defamation law and make it criminal. So you see people being arrested for a defamation case, which the way it should be, you are taken to court. The court decide that, what I said about so and so is not true. Then I'm penalized by the court. But the state is not meant to make it like criminal coming and harass me and arresting me, abducting people, blah, blah. That is not right. So it should be even regardless of who you are, because this is the problem. People who say they have the power, the state power, or even media, corporate also have this problem. But people who have the state power, instead of following the defamation procedure, they want to, intimidate. They want to harass you. They want to say, unachezea nani? Yeah, so you see, so it's abuse of authority, abuse of power. Yeah, that's what they are doing. But if we stick within the law and the Constitution, and everyone knows that if I say something which is wrong, it's one thing to say something that, it's weird, but it's true. But there's also another thing where I'm saying something which is completely made up, which is against the law.
Which I can't also... If I said something like that, I can't stand by. I can't.
You can't justify it. You just say, And you see, there kitambo, people used to say things, but like a gossip. You can be gossip against someone, but there was no internet, so we can say so and so like this. So it spread your word of mouth. Now you have to write it down. So it's recorded. Now it's recorded. So if defamation is clearly there, so it's recorded. That's why it's very easy. You have to be clear on what you are saying, that it has to be right. And this is something that we've been doing since we started Bake. To just ensure and tell content creators that, whatever you say, ensure that you are correct and 100% sure that you can defend it anytime, at night, during the day, and anytime.
Okay, speaking of the state.
Yes.
There's quite a bit of repressive legislations.
Yes.
Some passed, some coming up now. We have the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act.
Yes.
Which is said to be used sometimes in the not very right way. We have Assembly and Demonstrations Bill of 2024. We have something like KICA. What would Bake prioritize to restore to sort of protect people from that kind of state machinery that may sometimes be unfair?
Yes, so if you remember, Bake has been on forefront on this thing from the beginning when the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act, when it was still a bill and an act. We went to court for strategic litigation. And the reason was, at the time, the government was saying that, this law is going to be used in a good way, protecting the kids from pornographic content. And they were like, you are just saying things. over the years, what we were saying in 2018 became true, that people are being arrested, people being harassed. What we were saying earlier here, it's the law that now they use to turn defamation to criminal. Yeah, because they use that law. And we saw that there's section, I think section 23, section 24, we saw that there are sections in that law that was going to be problematic from the word go. And of course, we have been proven right. We went to court then and challenged it. We got a conservative order then. It was suspended for a while. And then we initially lost the case. And then we appealed the case. So it's still, the case is still in high court, now in the court of appeal. I think we have a mention in next month, September, where we have a mention of the case. So the case is still ongoing, but also there is this attempt by the legislators to amend it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Away. So they
amend the bill.
The act, the computer misuse. So they are always attempt to try
to make it more, to tighten it.
Yeah, to get away from us. Yeah, but anyway, the case is still there, and we hope that we will find a solution to this as soon as possible. In terms of Kika, for example, there is the one coming by. This lady is from Aldai, the member of parliament for Aldai, Marianne Keitani.
Yes.
So she has this Kika amendment, the Amendment Act. And one of the biggest problem with that one is they are trying to ensure that you are spied on what you are browsing.
Gratefully,
yes, for example, they're saying the ISPs need to give a report of your bills, and then what you are looking at, in readable format. Say readable format. So and this sent to communication authority, which means now from that point, there's no privacy at all, but at the same time, we have data protection law that protect your data, protect your privacy. So you see, these two things can't go hand in hand. Yeah, and so some of these legislation are good, like data protection act. You try to protect your own privacy, but then also there's this mischief that people are doing with the computer misuse, Kika Act, or even the demonstration bill that you mentioned. All these are the misuse to try to restrict people's freedom and digital rights in this case. Yeah.
Okay. So the report mentions data sharing, telcos, and also platform corporations.
Yeah.
From platforms like Telegram.
Yeah.
Is BEC engaging platforms, ISPs, or regulators to improve transparency?
We do that. Actually, most of the time we do that. We have a lot of conversation back and forth with some of these big tech, like Meta, Google. Yes, we try to have that conversation, but at the same time, sometimes states, ask for some of the content to be taken down. I think there was a report. I think if you go to like US, they usually give a report of the request from government around the world. Meta gave a report of the request of
takedowns, asking people
content to be taken. No, the government will ask, take down these accounts or post. Some size. It's mostly hashtag is sometimes restricted, but what state ask mostly is like account or So you say take down this account and that stuff. Yeah. So those ones. So we have had this back and forth with all these big tech. What I learned recently, of course, Telegram. I realized that Telegram being being restricted a lot. It because Telegram is easy. It's sort of like they ask them, they just take things down. So I think that's why the restriction has been for Telegram for the last 2 years. Yeah. Then they have these others like X that Elon Musk is a big absolute media digital freedom. Or yes. Obviously he has his own selfish interest in terms of because he's a Republican. And is fighting the Democrats on the other side in the US. But when you look at that in the overall scheme of things, it helps worldwide that you won't be wanting to go and mess up with X.
Because X would be taking down content every day.
Yes. Actually, if X was taking down, everything would be down. Yes. Yeah, you see. Yeah. Yes. So that's why. But this other platform, there's a lot of takedown requests. Those platforms. Yeah. In terms of regulators, we have a love-hate relationship with Communication Authority. I just learned recently that sort of because they feel, I don't know, they are more sensitive now.
Yeah.
Over the years, they have always been like, we do, you know what? You don't mind, you can criticize us, you can take us to court. Yeah. Because you see, when I take one arm of the government to court is still another arm of government. Yes. It's like within a family structure, mtoto, the one side, like a sister yake kwa father or something like mother, to educate doesn't mean that you are enemy. But you see, it's sort of some of these government arms now look at people like, hey, you take us to court, you are enemy. Not enemy. We are trying to see how people can do things right. And it's actually, we are helping them. Like, I know probably you will ask this, but I was blocked by ICT Authority.
I know you took them to court.
Yes. I was blocked by ICT Authority on X. And the reason being, they were talking about Wi-Fi, public Wi-Fi that was being launched by the cabinet secretary Owalo that time. And then, you know, they were promoting it like the safest thing to the public. And I told them, you know, as an IT person, I can't just sit back and see you are being misled. You are a citizen of the country and this government. I'm helping them. I told them, don't market this thing as the safest thing. Public Wi-Fi is not safe anywhere. I mean, you can get a way to market it because all of us still use Wi-Fi wherever we go. Even when I enter here, the first thing I ask you is, what's the Wi-Fi password? But I need to know the risk of that. So if you market to me that your Wi-Fi is the safest, and especially you're a government, you're misleading. And that is a public knowledge. So I told them that. The next thing I saw was I'm blocked.
You told them on Twitter?
Yes, on X now. On Twitter, Twitter X. Then, or now X. I told them that. And then the next thing I saw, I was blocked. Yeah, so I was like, you can't be doing that. I mean, I'm helping the public, but you are looking at me as the enemy. Yeah, so regulators sometimes have this problem, but regulators need to easen up. They need to be open-minded and need to see that they're dealing with the public and people will have issues with some of the things they're doing. So you don't block me or you don't catch feeling because I've taken something to court or because I've corrected you. Because we are all wrong. We all get these things wrong. If you don't want to be corrected, surely, and you are the regulator. That's not
and
good.
You are a citizen of
the
government.
Yeah, and the most time going to court is actually being part of government to adjudicate between the citizen.
So you won.
Yeah. They unblocked me and of course I won that case because and I think as a president, public handles, whether it's on X, Twitter that is, whether it is on Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is, should never block a citizen because it's a public. People running it are paid by the taxpayers. Yeah. So it's like telling me not to go to Nyaya House. Because that's I'm not to go to Huduma Center building. Because I criticize Huduma Center.
Kenyatta Hospital.
Or not go to Kenyatta Hospital because I criticize Kenyatta Hospital. You see, that should not be the case. If you have your own personal account, let's say you are a CS, Kabogo, and then you say Kabogo.
Yes.
You see, that is
Yes,
personal
that's
account.
personal.
You can block. But as long as it is ICT authority or Ministry of ICT or Communication Authority, then you can't block the citizen on that account, because it's like saying a citizen should not use something because they're criticizing it. Yeah.
Okay, and still on this platform, corporations, do you think it's justified sometimes? Because if Telegram, for instance, is being used to steal exams.
Yes.
Or if, let's say Telegram.
Yeah.
They're being used to steal
So
exams.
you're asking whether it's justified for internet shutdown?
For what has been happening for the last, I think, 2 years.
Yeah, Telegram has been restricted or shut down, yeah.
Is it justified to safeguard exams?
Yes, it's justified to safeguard exam, but you're safeguarding it from who?
Okay.
I'm Kachwanya out here. How do I get my hand to exams? Okay, I use Telegram, but how do I get it?
It has to be put there by someone who
has it. Who has
exams.
what? Who has what? The access
to the exams. And the answers.
So where do you need to safeguard? You safeguard hii part tuna communicate na stealing inafanywa na huko ndani.
Instead of safeguarding from up.
Yeah. Okay. The big problem is not the means of communication, because Telegram is a means of communication. And remember, from the time immemorial, public has found a way to communicate. And people used to come from very far to just go and gossip. Yeah. Yeah. But they sometimes even use the smoke signals. You say something is happening. You warn people with the smoke signals or drum. That's the initial communication. So people will find a way to communicate. If people have something to share, they will find a platform to share it. But the problem here is our corruption.
Okay.
Yes, it's corruption. So if we are to safeguard exam, as you put it, then we need to reform the media. It's called exam. What's the body neck? Yeah, that's where the problem is. Yeah, so they need to deal with the internal problem. How is the exam being leaked?
How is it leaking?
Yes.
Okay.
So that system need to be reformed. That system need to be tightened up. Because the problem is some people work there, they have their kids doing exams.
Yes.
And they want the kids to pass. Yes. I don't know how, but me personally, from the time I was in school, I better get my C, but I work for it, than getting an A, which I didn't work for. But I think some people don't look at it that. They want the kids or themselves to, be ahead. By any means necessary. So these people work there, and sometimes they have relatives and kids so they share with them. When they share with them, the first thing with this content creation these days, the first thing you want to do is to show that you are, first of all, you are powerful. You
have access.
Yes. So, and then now it starts spreading. Yeah. But I don't think restricting Telegram is a solution or protecting the exams. But talking about, I don't know if there's another question on this, but the internet shutdown overall.
Actually, report references internet shutdown during events like the
2024.
Reject Finance Bill 2024.
Yes.
There was...
of course, you have mentioned Telegram for the last 2 years.
For the exams.
Yeah.
So what's the economic outcome of that, the justification of it in that whole environment of shutdowns?
Yeah, so shutdowns, of course, there are a number of aspects of shutdown. So there's partial shutdown or restrictions. So when you're talking about Telegram, they restricted the platform.
Yes.
And I also learned, I won't mention who, but I learned the reason why Telegram is targeted is because they are easy. You are talking of they cooperate faster. They ask them and they just do that, as opposed to these other platforms. Anyway, so the Telegram shutdown is partial, but the one that happened last year during the protest, Reject Finance Bill 2024, was a total shutdown for us, a number of hours. I think it was like 5 hours. So it's a total shutdown. I know people sometimes talk about, use VPN. VPN you can only use if it's a partial. If a partial shutdown. So if, for example, the one for Telegram, then that one you can use VPN. But when there is a total shutdown, then it's like darkness. Like when KPLC pull the plug and there is no internet, or there is a monkey that once pulled a plug for KPLC.
there was a nationwide blackout and they said the monkeys
stripped the wire. Yeah. So if there is that wire stripped like that for internet, then you have total darkness. And that's what happened last year. Of course, there was a number of explanations by ISPs, there was cable cut. Yeah, but you see, if ISPs get bashed, and I always sympathize with Safaricom because them being the biggest ISP in Kenya, they get the flanks all the time. Like that time, people were so mad at them. People were like, we are not going to work with Safaricom. But in reality, the problem is not Safaricom. The problem is power to be, communication authority and above. That's where the problem is, because they give the orders and they threaten to take away the license or penalize them in one way or another. Anyone does that, they will do that. You see what they did with the media houses just recently. Yes. So it's the same thing. But you see, to do that, Citizen and KTN and but you see, when media houses, people didn't blame Citizen, because I think, for example, KTN just gave a public KTN gave a public statement saying, government is trying to do this. Now the ISPs didn't do that, so they tried to come up with explanations. So now they were being blamed, but the orders come from communication authority. So that's where we have a problem, and I hope people would not blame the likes of Safaricom where they are not involved. Because obviously they are given order. They operate under those. When you talk about regulator, or people think that you can just tell them no, but they're regulator. So if you're doing business in Kenya and that's your regulation, it's just the same with banks. Banks can't defy CBK, Kenya, Central Bank of Kenya. That's the same with the likes of Safaricom. They can't defy communication authority. So you get, but they get a lot of
flack.
So for back on this one, we went to court for strategic litigation, and we got a conservatory order. So the judge says they should never been shut down in Kenya until that case is heard and determined. Obviously, government is sometimes arrogant, because I think there was a little bit of it during recent protests, or that was it. On 25th was anniversary of last year.
Anniversary.
So there was a little bit, because I think there was a complaint that Telegram was being restricted, and I think there was a report like that. What I was saying, the government sometimes, they don't just follow the law which they want people to follow, which is very bad. But at the stand, there should not be a shutdown until that case is heard. That is the standing order by the High Court judge. And Beck did this in partnership. I mean, we went there with a number of organizations like ICJ, Paradigm Initiative, CPESA. A number of these organizations came together to do that.
And these many court cases that are sometimes being used to intimidate. Okay, maybe some are justified, but some are just being used to as state power to intimidate citizens. We've seen those many court cases. What does Beck do towards such a thing?
So you see, so Beck work in a number of ways. So there is what we call strategic litigation that I've been talking about. But sometimes you just need to talk to these people in terms of, trying to bargain with them
The content
states.
creators.
The states.
Okay.
Content creators have no problem. We try to fight for them.
Yes.
Yeah, so advocacy is one thing that we try to do, and that's what I'm saying, advocacy. So advocacy, you see, sometimes you don't need to. Litigation is like final aspect. When the law has gone and now there's nothing you can do. Yeah, but there's a time when they were talking about shutting down the TikTok. I don't know.
Yes,
banning TikTok in Kenya.
Yes.
And for example, Beck went and give our position.
Yes.
And we talked to the parliamentary committee. I remember met them somewhere in Westlands. And the main point was to reason with them and see. I've also talked to the Communication Authority about this thing, because the whole thing was also coming from Communication Authority. And the problem was that, the TikTok live is a problem, especially at midnight. And sometimes you ask yourself, so we were trying to see, how do you have this? Yeah, and of course that also comes with content moderation that has become a thing. Yeah, because especially you're talking about the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So advocacy is one big thing. I know sometimes when we talk, it sounds like NGO-ish, but the whole thing is it's just trying to figure out how do you deal with the policy makers before they make a mistake and now you have to rush to court. Yeah. So like try to talk to them. Some of them actually are very good in terms of understanding this situation. The bigger problem we have is sometimes there is a small thing that, people want to correct using legal, legislations. But then there's mischievous or that mischief. So for example, when the computer misuse was coming up, the main point was protect the kids
from pornography.
Do you know what was happening at that time also? MPs, there's one MPs that the nudes, her nudes were shared.
Leaked.
Yeah, leaked. Yes. So at that point, the MPs were so mad about the whole thing. But you see now some of these things are problematic. But why do you bring us problem you created in your bedroom?
Personal, yes.
It's personal.
Yes.
Yeah. Now you punish all of us because
yes. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when you look at that time, the main problem was the MPs were so mad because of that. So they wanted to punish that person. Yeah.
And here was a law that
there's a law that now they were putting in while mad. So the law needs to be done when people are sober, not people mad or people drunk. No. Law needs to be done when people are sober, because you see, even some people that were in that angle, sometimes you say if you're in government, maybe some things won't touch you. But immediately you get out of the government or the government changes. That's why you need to create laws that protect the public as a whole, not geared to punish one person. Because it changes and all of a sudden you find yourself, you are the first to be arrested using that law.
Of that very
Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot. Yeah, I've seen it happen a lot. Yeah. So these are some of the things that you need to have that advocacy aspect, to talk to these people that when you are making laws, there are things that us that sitting on the sideline, we can see this going to be problematic. Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about content moderators.
Yes.
And we've had problems with those in terms of human rights, overworking, mental health. Does BEC address that kind of thing?
Yeah, so gig workers, as we call them, and content creators and all these people who do work which are not really defined in our labor laws. Because you see, the permanent employed people in Kenya has the labor law, which protects and that help them in case their rights are violated. So if you're fired and procedurally, then you will find a way to get either compensation or the decision overturned. But gig workers don't have that. as I said, it's lose. Yeah, but when you look at it closely, especially from how the report look at it, is like there are people who are employed by the big platforms, like let's say Meta for content moderators. That was a big case in Kenya.
Yes, I remember Meta.
I'd also mention, let's say, the likes of Uber.
Yes.
So when you look at that, there are people who working as a gig worker, but within those platforms. Yeah. So those platforms basically can't employ them directly, but they provide means of, people earning. Either through commission or if in terms of content creators, you use either platform like TikTok, X, and you become an influencer, you become a writer, you build your own platform. All this end up to be a gig worker. I think there should be, we don't have a law that do that. So that's the starting point. We don't have a law that protect them. So I think there should be amendment on the labor law to see how to protect them. Of course, it's something that not easy to do, because in reality also you can't deal like, okay, if you are hired in not permanent basis, then you probably want to force the platform to hire these people permanently. That's number one. But there should be a way.
Some moderators.
Moderators, all the gig workers in a way, especially they're working for bigger platform. There should be in a way that are some, their welfare is looked at. They're not like just, you can be fired any day, you can be chased away anytime, you can be paid very poorly, overworked, and you don't have any. Because, for example, if you look at the taxi drivers, one thing they keep on complaining about is that the commission, because they're given like say 25%. Now the company that doesn't own any vehicle, doesn't own anything except the platform.
And they don't do maintenance.
They don't do it.
Yeah.
They don't do maintenance of the vehicles. And they take the lion's share of that earning. And that's why it's understandable when, let's say, the people who work for Bolt or Uber start complaining. And it's the same with the content moderators, for example, because that is also another thing. It was in court, and the reason was these people are not well paid, but they did a lot of work and overworked. Yeah, and they were not compensated properly. So I think that's why they were taken. The Meta was taken to court because of that.
How did that case go?
That case, I think the I need to check, but the first round was won by the gig workers, the people who are complaining, the moderators. But I think the case is still in the Court of Appeal. I think Meta appealed the case, but I need to check exactly. But I know there was a first round win for the moderators. Yeah. But anyway, apart from that, for Beck, it's a tough. Yeah, because dealing with this, you see, like, and the main point has always been to ensure that bloggers and content creators can earn online.
Yes.
Yeah, and you see, earning, there's no proper way to put it, apart from, say, for example, if Femmehub is growing and you are able to hire, I see a big team here, people just see this thing, the output. They don't know there are so many people around here that involved to ensure that whatever the output is good. Yeah, so the main point is for you, look at it for you to grow, and then you are able to, in a position to hire people. So that's number one. Also, there's the connection with, like, say, ensure that even the big tech, they give the favorable conditions. So that's why we have this conversation with them and trying to see how do we, apart from the strategic litigation like that for moderators, how do we ensure that you don't restrict people's content? Because that's one thing also with algorithms. If you don't promote something as a content creator and you see the content, you create content like now, this is what also grows some of these platforms. Yeah. And they don't pay. So at least that advocacy generally, not even in Kenya alone, worldwide, made some of them to start paying. So like X pay those who are subscribers every month. Yeah. Of course, we still have a problem that in Africa we don't get much. Unapata umepewa $10. Sasa hiyo ni nini? After a month,
After
can't pay. You can't even pay.
After a whole month of being so controversial for clicks.
A whole month of looking for clicks.
Yes.
You are paid $10. In most cases, you use again that one to pay Elon again.
Subscribe.
To subscribe. So you see, it doesn't even pay that much. But that's the direction that they need to take. So there needs to be more advocacy to say, if you are doing content and you are good and you are active, then the platform need to pay. Yeah. You see, when our media houses are dying because of the big tech. I know people don't see this, but adverts, some of the big adverts that go to these guys, if they were being taken to our media house like they used to be, then that's enough money. But you see, majority of people now say the media landscape has changed. And then you are telling media people, innovate or die. Yes. Now, sometimes I ask people, when you say innovate, you tell me one thing they will do to beat Google. Yeah, you tell me one thing that Nation or Business or Daily or Standard will do to beat Meta. Right. Those are multi-million. Yeah, they are big companies. So people say, oh, innovate or die. But what? Innovate, do what? I tell you, sit down and innovate today. You want to beat those guys. You won't. Yeah. Sometimes we need to look at this thing critically and say, yes, we say they innovate. Maybe they should have embraced the whole thing. But they do this content, good content. They put it on Facebook. They put it on Google. They put it on X and other stuff. Which run those platforms. You get? Yeah. So these people earn from that content. So that's why I've always advocate for the fact that the big tech needs to share the pie with the content creators. Yeah. And in a substantial way. Yeah. Because without content creators, what would people be doing in Facebook? Yeah. True. TikTok. When those kids not dancing there, what will you go to do? Yeah, challenges. Yeah. So that's what make people to be there. So if you're earning a lot of money, because now all our companies take money to you, but it's because of our content, then somehow you need to appreciate the fact that the content creators do a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Let's speak about the blogger word.
Yes.
Which, when we were starting out, it was just us documenting our stuff online. But now there's a whole lot of everyone who says something off on the internet is labeled a blogger. And then there's the idea of bloggers for hire, maybe by government or by whoever. So sort of the word blogger has been muddied. Is that a concern to you, number one? Number two, should I, for instance, be afraid to call myself a blogger now? Because now I find myself calling myself a digital publisher.
First of all, when you say blogger for hire, what is that? It's sort of like we are saying gig workers need to be paid. How do you expect people to earn? Okay, I understand when people say blogger
by government.
For government, wacha watu wakule pesa bwana. Okay, I understand what you are saying.
Yes.
And I see the point because the government or propaganda or that stuff.
Yes.
I have no problem with a blogger earning. Of course, you would ask yourself, well, that money is coming from where? So it's corruption on the other side. And I have no problem with the bloggers earning. Yeah, to me, the only problem I have is what wanasemanga ni 527. That is very little. So it should be like...
no, I think it moved.
Now it's how much?
I don't know, but where did the 527 even come from?
I don't know. Was it 227 or 527?
No, 527.
Yes.
But I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. But because what happened is, you see, there are people who are just starting out. So they can be taken advantage of. And that's what we are talking about, gig workers being taken advantage of. So instead, somebody given millions huko juu, say, then people start pocketing. Then by the time you reach the content creators, unapewa 527. But you are the one who reputation, you are the one being called government blogger all the time. But there are people, middlemen here, that have eaten that money. So for me, that's the problem I have. I want them to pay for a post of to send me 20K.
Kachwanya, what about their content?
What's the problem?
Like sometimes people are dying, people are being killed by what we know is probably the state, and they'll be here sort of just close to justifying that.
No, that is not right. Justifying is not right. But you have worked with PR people.
Yes.
Yeah? Yes. What do they do?
But I'm not working.
I'm just asking you in terms of...
They clean up.
They clean up. Every PR
but
person.
We are not working with killers.
Do you know those PR people are the one who take that money and pay? It's the cleanup. But now, in terms of us, what we look at is, propaganda in itself has been there for years.
Yes.
And I would say even corporate, when they mess up, they clean up their ways.
And get into a bit of propaganda.
Yeah. Yes. So the content being done by the normal business, technology, food content, which is private, influencer campaigns and all that stuff, is still propaganda. In other words.
Kila mtu anajitetea.
Yes, kila mtu anajitetea. That's number one. And number two, now you go to opposition side. There are people who are hiring people to say things. Then you go to government side. The government hiring people to say things. Now the question is it's just the same as question you asked me about the exams thing. Because at the moment we are dealing with I don't know if you call it symptoms or something, but the root cause of this thing is the government.
I get.
We need to ask questions. If it's 527, your money ilitoka wapi? And because you see the government bloggers, they're the one for propaganda, but the one which even given money to say there's a polio outbreak, and the Ministry of Health, and then they use the influencers to talk about that. Would you say that is bad? No. You get. So you see, sometimes it's just the mischief on things.
Even I have worked for government.
Exactly.
See, we've done ICT authority.
ICT authority. Especially, we did the kids be the cop.
Be the cop.
Yeah,
yes,
you remember.
Yes, for child safety.
For child
online.
safety online.
I've done quite
so
a bit.
Was that a problem? No. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying.
In Connected Kenya.
Connected Kenya.
Yeah.
Is that a problem?
No.
But you see now, the problem we always have, remember we have so many bloggers and different category of bloggers. The problem is, how does political bloggers make their money? And where will they get their money? Because business bloggers, for example, is clear, and we are saying them is okay. Then you see, this is why it's problematic for me, and people will be looking at it and say, you are a government blogger. No. What I'm saying is, we have all this category of bloggers. So we have political bloggers, we have technology, we have business, food, fashion, all this stuff. Each of these sectors has people who need the influencers or bloggers, and they pay them to do some content and that stuff. Now, the problem has always come with the political bloggers. There's no company. If you're a political blogger, there's no company there.
Yeah.
So either you remain with the individual politicians, the states, opposition. You get.
And you jump from.
So this is where the problem is. So we still go back to the fact that we need to be. We need to be factual, fact checking. So even if you're a political blogger, me I have no problem, because that is, we can't say people should not blog about politics. Yeah. But if you are doing political blogging or you are influencer in political circle, to be honest, where do we have money for them? Like the corporate paying people to promote a certain products. Where do we get their money from? So they are left with the state, opposition, and individual politicians that want to be something. So you go to these counties now, every politician has their own bloggers. Yes. You talk about national government bloggers, but let me tell you, every individual now, every single politician, either the one which is already been there or the one which is upcoming, all of them have bloggers in payroll. So when we have this discussion, we have to be honest. Is the problem bloggers or the problem the people fighting each other or doing the wrong thing and want to justify them? So for example, people are killed by the police. Obviously, the government side would want to clean their image. You get. Now, if you're a political blogger, you are paid to say, you see, you won't be told that we are like, carrying this thing. You're just being told that this is what happened. So this is what happened. So this is nothing. Or wengine wanasema, that was not police which did it. Yes. So if you come to you and say the police didn't do it, but you're a political blogger and they are paying you, now I know that will come out as justifying that, but they are paying this person. So you want to say this? You content you are given is that the police didn't do it. You get. But you see, police probably know they did it. They are trying to. But you, because you are a content creator, you are not in the force. You don't know what happened.
You're sort of reporting.
That's the word.
You're reporting.
You are reporting. And in this case, you are reporting the side of the police.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So, do we tell people not to... that's what I'm asking myself. Do we tell political bloggers never to make money?
Speak.
Never to make money. And we know the only place they get money, state, opposition. And individual politicians. Yeah, so state can be counties, even counties. Yeah. You go to counties, you find there. This thing is all over now.
There's a lot.
Yeah. So what do we say?
Okay.
You get where I'm coming from.
Sort of.
Yeah, so, that's where I'm coming from in this case. For me, I think our problem is not with the bloggers.
Bloggers for hire.
And I see, and there's nothing like bloggers for hire. I mean, if corporate can get influencers to do their work, why are this one called bloggers for hires and the other one are called
content creators? Content creators.
Yeah. Okay, let me go back to your second question.
Or whether we
the connotation that has come with it.
With the word blogger.
Yeah, this problem has started with media. The mainstream media had always had a problem with bloggers. And the reason why there's been a problem is they had always assumed that we are going to eat their pie. Bloggers are eating their pie. So there has always been a bad connotation about it from the beginning, way back. Where like sort of mainstream media, people say these people are not trained and these people are not there. And you go back to what I was asking, whether media should we sympathize with the mainstream media? Yes, we should in terms of people telling them to innovate, but still they didn't embrace the whole thing in good time. So that was their problem. And then they were like, these people are not trained and they are on our space. But you see the market, how the market reacted. People stopped buying newspaper, just like the way we were saying initially. People stopped buying newspaper. You are not rushing home at 7 or 9 to watch news. Our parents used to do that. It was like a mandatory thing in their household, that even if those household without TV, they had radio.
Yes.
Ifika 9, baba lazima kae. You don't talk. We have to listen. Yeah, you see. So that change affected the mainstream media, and then they struggled a lot to get there. Now they don't even know to define who is a blogger. For example, they pick anybody who is commentating online and they say this blogger, that, and then that's why it became like, you see, fake news, bloggers, misinformation, bloggers, disinformation, bloggers. But bloggers use because it's the easier one to say. The biggest misinformation I've seen in these countries are not even bloggers. You remember when one time somebody was allegedly obituary was read by one of the media houses.
Oh yes.
How did somebody went to report that and some say it's dead and now start listing the family member nini. That was on mainstream media. I've never seen the a big problem like that one because I've never seen a big problem. The government. You remember the PS, the PS for Foreign Affairs. He shared some deep fake.
Yes. Yes.
He shared a deep fake that CNN say something. You remember that? Yeah. The reason why bloggers are blamed is this. In most organizations, people fight each other. Okay? And when people fight each other, I know something about you. We are working with you, and I am your corporate politics or even within government politics. I know government. I know I can pass this information to bloggers. So, for example, this issue of organ harvesting.
Yes.
Do you know bloggers used to talk about this thing?
The whole time.
The whole time, 2020, back in 2020. And they were being dismissed, these bloggers. But the mainstream media are being paid to not say anything. Or clean the whole thing.
Lose that story.
Yes, kill the story. And you are saying, bloggers do this. I've seen this with even Kina Nyakundi, Lie over the times. The things they used to say about this big corporate or even the banks that collapsed or the other main corporate or government offices, even the SACCO thing that happened there.
And a lot of corruption scandals.
Yes.
They've talked about them in advance.
Exactly.
Before they explode.
Yeah. So when the bloggers are saying them, sometimes the problem with blogging is you give me something in secret. I don't want to say, you know what, Naomi within Femmehub is the
It's the source.
It's the source of this because otherwise. Yeah. So you don't want to say that. So, and the mainstream media either know or they don't have that information. And then people still doubting. Because even up to now, people would say, if I see something online, I want to go and see whether Nation is saying the same or Standard is saying the same. Yeah. Then, so that's where the problem is. So because of that fastness, so then most of the time you can't say, you know what, so within this organization who told me this. You don't want to say that. No. So people like sitting back and then now say, this thing is not anywhere else. These bloggers are.
Too.
And then the organization themselves will come out and dismiss. And when they dismiss that, who reports that? Mainstream media. So then all of a sudden, so over the years, my work within the media space has always been to defend bloggers with this misinformation. Yeah, because sometimes people say the true thing, but they can't disclose. The other thing is also, especially in the political environment and the state. So the states want to do the propaganda. Then they use their state actors. These are not bloggers.
Yes.
They're state actors. Then they pass that information to online. Through bloggers. And they pass that. Then now the bloggers are blamed. But the actors themselves are not blamed. Yeah. So first of all, we are media. We are media. What is the function of the media? It's to get out information, whether you like that information or not. Exactly. So wacha bloggers for hire wakule. Waongeze tu pesa kidogo isikuwe 527.
No, I think they moved from that.
Let's have it as minimum 10K.
Okay. Still on that.
Yeah.
There are some companies that are a bit apprehensive about working with creators who are vocal about politics.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Is that
seriously political decision in the country affect everyone?
Yeah.
They affect those companies. They affect they affect those companies, and they affect everyone. That's why I find it weird that you victimize someone, and we have been talking about media freedom today. You would victimize someone for their views about political happening. I get the point where there are people, the way they present information is so either so vulgar or so personal. I understand why a brand would say, I don't want to associate with that. I understand that. But generally, because I criticize the government, you blacklist me and you are not part of government. I don't see why that should be there. But you see, the problem I also see is the cancel culture that happened. And some people themselves have opinion. Remember, brands, they're just branding name, but the decisions are made by individual. Most individuals are either have their own personal preferences, political leanings, on their own themselves. So sometimes when you say something, they feel like, I don't like that guy. Yes. But it has nothing to do with what you're saying. Maybe you are just criticizing somebody they like, confirming they are biased, somebody they like, or criticizing. So some people end up saying that. So my opinion on this, private sector should not blacklist anyone because of the political opinion, because politics affect all of us. And sometimes I say, whenever people are fighting for a certain position, it helps there. When people are fighting for new constitution, obviously the businesses didn't want to get involved. Yes. But once the new constitution came in, it brought in these judges, for example, that able to even give ruling against the government. Remember when digital migration was happening? People went to court.
I worked on that.
You worked on that. People went to court, the digital migration. If it was before this new constitution, that would have not been even a case. It would have been thrown out. But remember, it went to court until the Court of Appeal. So it was a due process. Even the other day, Katiba Institute went to court to challenge the media shutdown that happened during the protest. All these things help the businesses. So if a business is going to blacklist a content creator because of their political leaning, I don't think that is the right thing to do. I don't have a power to tell them what to do because it's private businesses. But I don't think. But understand, like I was saying earlier, I understand where you feel like there's some people who themselves, they don't respect themselves, how they put information online. So as a brand, even me personally, there are people you won't even find me commenting on there. I just read and go forward. So probably like me, I would want to share. So I understand that. But it should not be a blanket ban that if somebody has a political views, then it's banned.
Because in the last year, almost everyone is vocal.
Yes. But you see, also content creators have to be you also have to criticize content creators. Why? There's a time when, and I was saying Safaricom was being criticized and wrong, unfairly on the shutdown. Obviously, there's other things like data share. I have no idea that one. I can't say. But I know, for example, shutdown, they were not the main, they are given orders to do that. And I feel like that was unfair. Then most people rush to online to say, I'm not working with Safaricom. Themselves, they banned Safaricom. Voluntarily. And I've seen them rushing back now. They are working with
They're coming back home.
I see some of them coming. Most of them, actually, all of them. I've not seen somebody who say, I'm not working with Safaricom now. They are coming back. But the point is, even them, they made emotional
decision.
And it's the same thing I'm telling you with the brand. Don't make emotional decision because someone says something.
It's a two-way.
It's a two-way. And also you don't make emotional decision, especially if you don't do more research. Because I understand why you are saying something was happened against Kenyans, but this order that's given. And as I said, regulators, anybody who work under any regulator, you can't defy a regulator. Because you are working under it. All the laws, policies they keep. Banks can't defy central bank. Telecoms can't defy communication authority. Media can't defy Media Council of Kenya. You get? Yeah. The same as transport. Yeah? NTSA. You can't go around here doing things and defy NTSA. That's otherwise we do away with the regulators as a country. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, to wind up, what calls is the report, the state of the internet report making?
Yeah.
What does BIC and the partners want to be implemented from the report and by whom?
Yeah. So, first of all, the KenSafe coalition partners, the main aspect of it is to have a safer digital space. Yeah, that's actually the main thing, safer digital space. So in other words, we are dealing with issue of cyberbullying, cybersecurity. We are looking at the misinformation and fake news. All this trying to cover on that coalition, what that coalition does. And that report highlighted all these things that the coalition are about. So we are looking at, as I had said earlier, the gig workers aspect, because obviously you can't be a good content creator if your welfare is not taken care of. So that's one thing. Misinformation is a big thing, and that's why I keep on saying we have to look at it critically from the source, not just banning things up there, but the source still remain doing their own thing there.
Like in the case of Telegram, for example.
So we can't just talk about it from that point, because sometimes blanket banning of communication platforms. I mean, because we are targeting 1% of it doesn't matter. Because, for example, and I know probably I didn't answer this part, the impact of like even the internet. You see, there are many businesses that use Telegram, for example.
Yes, impact on economic.
Exactly, business that use the internet to do this, and sometimes the platform. When you do that, imagine somebody had given order through Telegram, umelipa pesa, and then the person can't even receive that order because the Telegram is down, and you can't communicate with them because most of the time the communication is through those platforms. Sometimes you never think of it like, oh, you know what? I need to take the number on the side in case the Telegram is banned or it's down. Then the Telegram goes down for 2 months. I mean, what are you trying to do? Yeah, what are you trying to do? When the internet was shut down for 5 hours, internet is huge in terms of what it does. People just look at it, this is what bloggers are saying online. But the whole aspect of e-citizen for now is through internet now.
Yeah.
The whole aspect of even the M-Pesa, these banks with their mobile apps, all of them. So if you shut down the internet, just because for a few hours you want to deal with, I mean, the proportionality has to be there, and you have to also see why you are doing something. There are some things that government sometimes do, which I don't think is justifiable. Yeah. But in terms of the report, yes, the KenSafe coalition are looking at that. How do we make the internet safer for kids, for content creators, for everyone generally? And that is why we talk about the cybersecurity. We talk about, like, we do a lot of training also. They are now, like, you remember when I was introducing the people involved, like there's Watoto Watch.
Yes.
network.
Jennifer, I think.
Yeah, so that's all. They deal with kids and they're part of coalition. Of course, as
Kids online, safety of kids online.
yeah. And they go to schools. Yeah, you get. As we deal with the content creators, there's the internews with mainstream journalists. There is Mzalendo Watch that look at the parliament and all these.
I like their account.
Exactly.
I really love that.
Yeah. So see, then there's the Internet Without Borders. So it's an international organization, but still also they're involved in issue of the internet being safe and being on all the time. So you see, so that's then there's Tribeless Youth, that on their side also the you remember when we were saying that tribeless?
Yes. Yeah, tribeless.
Yeah. So there's the tribeless youth, so that deal with that. Yeah. So we also look at the legal, which we have mentioned, and you are asking who should take it. So most of these things are policy makers. So Parliament is one big aspect of this. Of course, the executive branch. There are some things that, of course, coming from CA, that is under executive. So Communication Authority, that is under executive. So if they shut down the internet, that is executive side. And of course the court. So court itself also come in to advocate. Judiciary now. Judiciary come in. So the decision to make internet safe lies with many actors, including even the private sector. So the big tech companies, the ISPs in Kenya, and then of course you talk about the regulators, the Communication Authority, and then the Parliament that make laws that and then we have of course now the content creator themselves, and then now online. Sometimes also we say that being safe start with you. Yeah, I know sometimes people don't want to hear that. But
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's why when you're in the house, you have to go and lock the door. So you need to ensure that, first of all, privacy and your data are protected. If you have a kid, don't share their content and then people get it and then you start crying. Because they are very stupid people online. That's one thing you have to know. Yeah. So just ensure that you protect your kids and protect yourself, your data and your private data. Now, there are people who are out there, like content creators. Yeah, but obviously there are also personal aspect of that, even if you're a content creator, which you need to protect. And that's why data protection is there, but still it starts with you.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much, Kachwanya, for showing up and for your insights.
Thank you for giving me the platform.
You're welcome. Next week, we'll have Nelly Nyadzua. She's a cybersecurity consultant. So we'll be digging into cybersecurity. Bye.